Okay, we are live. We're back. We are back. We are back. How's everybody doing? My goodness, y'all get here before I do. What's up? Wow, Anika Mills, Kay Lovely, China Moon, Call Me Jen, Kanisha 773, Calissa Barnes, how are you? Y'all get in here so fast. My goodness. I'm surprised I'm surprised that YouTube sends out the notifications before I go on. That's good. Maybe they are improving. Who knows? Who knows? Cha Cha Brady, good evening to you. Veronica Zapata, another YouTube content creator, Veronica Zapata. I've seen a little bit of your work. Thank you for joining us. Cheat Town Fit Queen, how are you? We got a great live coming up tonight. I'm excited about it and have been thinking about it for quite some time. And tonight we are going to fulfill an idea of coming together as content creators, as I first stated, and it's already in motion. So tonight we have a special guest that's going to join us on tonight's platform, and we're going to be discussing the Kenneka Jenkins case. And we're going to be getting into some very, very detailed information that not a lot of content creators discuss in their investigation. That's one thing. So you're in for a very, very big treat. Very big treat. CJ Jones, hello. Terry Furman, how you doing? Welcome. Janice Johnson. So once we get up and running, I just want to make sure I share the love to all of my subscribers, those of you who've been running with me since I went live and created my platform, and those new to the channel, welcome. We're working hard, and I'm sure that a lot of folks are starting to actually send me a lot of emails and messages and comments on last night's live, which was very interesting, and I wanted to get into some great details when it came to the autopsy and toxicology report that we covered. If you miss it, that's okay. I have it posted, so definitely if you missed joining us last night in last night's live pertaining to the Crown Plaza and the Rosemont Police Department, and it's in regards to them changing the narrative, because when you change the narrative, you actually change the liability or the consequence of what they did. And we were able to take a look at a lot of the different areas in which the narrative began to change into this so-called accidental death narrative. And still today, it doesn't hold true. Doesn't hold true. So we're beginning to break down that narrative and break it apart, because we know otherwise. We know what happened to Kanika. And this is a fight for justice for her. She deserves it. Her family deserves it. And we're working and moving on our side. We're moving forward, doing what we can to make a difference in this case. To make a difference. So, with that said, with everyone joining us tonight for tonight's special live, which is a content creator live, the J4K content creator teams coming together. And this will be my first live with a content creator that I've been running with since I came across her during the Kenneka Jenkins investigation during the story that she was doing. I felt that she was very insightful. She was very meticulous in terms of information, and the way she presented it on her platform and on her channel uh, was very impressive. You know, she holds no punches, she pulls no punches, excuse me, and she puts it right on the table. She tells it like it is, and uh, everything can be traced. You can fact check her, and she's right on point. So for those of you who are just joining us, welcome once again. Twinkie, Boss Blake, what's up, brother? Nanya, welcome back. Black Diamond, let's see if I can do a couple of things here before we get going. Thank you so much for the love in last night's live. I woke up this morning and found that the number of views from last night's live just blew my mind. I said, "Wait a minute, over 1,000?" I said, "And I have 1,000 people in my live last night, but went well over 1,000. I think we're at 1,700 views already, and it's just been what 24 hours. Well over 140 likes. Thank you for everyone who has enjoyed last night's live. We found it to be very important to put that information out there so that this way no one can be misinformed about this case any longer. We can listen to what people have to say, but we can fact check them too. And that's why I said trust but verify the content creator who's ever putting out the information, because it's important to keep the story straight. This story has had more twists and turns, ups, downs, in, outs than any story that I've ever come across. And so, in working hard for getting justice for Kanika, we need to all pull together to keep the story straight. Keep the story straight, definitely. Black Diamond, Beverly Palmer, Nakisha Nash, welcome. I want to welcome you all to tonight's special Content Creator Live. We're going to be getting into, like I said, some very, very detailed information that's not spoken about on YouTube concerning the Kenneka Jenkins case. Most definitely. And it's a very important part of this case, and it needs to be brought out into the open and for light to be shown upon it so that we can understand the true elements that actually started this case unfolding. When we talk about a crime such as the one that has been committed in this case, then we have to start to put together the pieces and the parts that not only make up the crime, but also to find out why the crime was committed in the first place. And so, David Dewberry, how you doing, bro? David and I have spoken on the phone, and we're lighting up with a lot of good information. He sent me some photos, and we're going back and forth. Matter of fact, some videos, some very interesting videos. Thank you, David, for your support in having me view those videos concerning the East Hall of the Crown Plaza Hotel after the party goers left the party and began their so-called search for Kanika. Sweet Pea, Yee, Carolyn Morgan, welcome. Stephanie Harding, welcome. Diana Nelson, welcome. And so, yes, thank you, David, for sending me that. And so, in tonight's our very first Content Creator Live, I have the special privilege and the honor, the blessed honor, to bring to you one of the most outstanding content creators in the J4K community that I have ever come across. And that is Malika the Warrior. For those of you that know Malika, and I'm just going to put this on screen share right now for a second, because if you're not familiar with her channel, I want to give you a little bit of an idea of what her channel looked like, and so that this way you can go over and begin to view a lot of her work in this case. Nope. Try to get that. There we go. Okay, I'm in screen share mode, and bring up her channel. Malika the Warrior has been on this case pretty much out the gate, and had the privilege of creating her own platform, her own YouTube live platform, to bring out her thoughts and her viewpoints as to a lot of the information regarding the case, as to what she was coming across. And this is how I was able to connect with Malika. Was on her platform. I think it was 2017, the late end of 2017, um, just before the year turned, is where I came across Malika. And then all of 18, all of 19, and now we go into 2020. And so tonight, Malika has consented to join me in regards to doing a live and discussing a lot of her experience concerning the case, and a lot of the information that she was able to delve into and get through and to present on her platform. An outstanding job in doing so. And I'm sure that everyone that's followed Malika uh, would most definitely say that Malika the Warrior is definitely a household name, especially when it comes to the Kenneka Jenkins case, as it should, as it should. So, all right. So definitely subscribe to Malika. If you're not, you're going to find an archive of some very critical um, videos covering the case for 2.5 years now, that she's been able to post. And you will find some very incredible information as to her investigation. And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, getting the information out and sharing it with people to educate and keep people informed as to what's going on. Just go back one more time just before we bring Malika up. Um, let's see who's joined us here. We've got Couponing Lifestyle with Katie. Welcome. X will sign out and watch. Welcome. Okay. All right. So with that said, we're going to get started. Thank you for joining us. And I'm going to basically go back to where we started. And I want to just share with you this item here. So you can. And I'm sure that once we get here, then we can bring Malika up on board. This was the model that I used to begin my part of the investigation. It's helped me to really identify a lot in gathering information in regards to, obviously, Kenneka Jenkins, and how the Rosemont Police Department was able to involve themselves with the death investigation, and how they handled the evidence, how they handled witnesses, how they were able to try to explain timelines and the job that they did. But they never talked about suspects in the case. But here we have a remarkable case with no suspects. Why is that? And that part kept bothering me. And to a point to where I said, there's got to be some suspects here because this is not an accident, you know. And in last night's live, uh, we put some additional information on the table that proves that this is not an accident. You know, the autopsy, in my opinion, is incomplete. Uh, the medical examiner, the forensic pathology fellow, the trainee who performed the autopsy on Kanika, was writing more of the Rosemont Police Department's report on the case than the autopsy itself, which was extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary. And so to get that on the table and to make sure that we've covered that base, I hope we did the job. I think we did shed some light in that area because there's a lot of nonsense going on in that area. A lot of nonsense. And this is a crime. And everyone along the line knows that this is a crime. And so for this crime to be comprehensive, pulled together, to be made sense out of, well, we got to have suspects. And so tonight, I asked Malika to join me in covering an aspect of this case that is so critically important that before you leave tonight, you are definitely going to know that we have been trying to fill that area of the board. And that area that I'm talking about regarding the crime are the suspects. Who was with Kanika the night she went missing? The morning of September the 9th of 2017 at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Rosemont, Illinois. Who was with Kanika out in that hallway? Before you leave tonight, we all may have a better answer to that question than what we've been able to cover in the past. And I say that boldly because of the bold investigation that we're doing in this case. So with that said, I'm going to go back to my start page here. Okay. And we're going to start tonight's live. So hang on, everyone. We're in for a real big treat. I'm going to bring on board one of the most incredible YouTubers that I've come across in this case, bar none. And it gives me great honor and privilege to bring Malika up so that this way we can get it on, we can get it rolling. So without further ado, Malika, the lioness, Malika the warrior is in the house. Hey,
Hey,
Malika.
John. Hey, chat. Can y'all hear me? Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Yes, mic check, mic check.
I'm a little bit under the
Absolute.
weather, so I need you guys to bear with me. If I'm breaking up or if I'm hard to hear, just let me know. I'm trying my best to pull through this live. You guys keep me in prayer. Not feeling too well.
Absolutely. But thank you so much, Malika, for joining us for tonight's live. This was an important one that I wanted to get done first and foremost because this is an area of the case that really needs light to be shed upon it. And you were the one that you were the only one who could touch this area of the case. And I'm so honored and proud to have you to bless our platform this evening.
Thank you so much, John, and thank you for inviting me on here. I mean, anything for you, anything for Kanika, anything for the community. Like I told you earlier, I said, John, I'm not feeling good, but guess what? We're gonna pull through this, because I just admire how you being a man and a man of God, how you just stepped up in the forefront and you bring in unity to your platform. You bring in structure and order to this community. And so, big shout out to you for that, because not many have done that. A lot of, I'm not going to just say males, but a lot of us YouTubers, we bullshit and you see a lot of egos within the YouTube content creators. And so for somebody to set their ego aside, their pride aside, and acknowledge all other YouTube content creators, uh, bring us all together, even though we may all have different viewpoints, but to acknowledge us and bring us all together for one sole purpose, which is getting this case reopened. That takes somebody who is operating with the Spirit of God and from a very genuine place. And as I told you before we went live, this community needed you. We needed you. And so I thank God for you. I know everybody in the chat room, I know everybody. Y'all, we thank God for John, don't we, y'all? Because we needed him. We needed somebody, as with his spirit and with his heart to come out and do what he did and do what he's doing. Okay, so thank you, John, for having me. Um, I'm looking forward to today's live. I plan on sharing some stuff with y'all that I hadn't even shared on my other live. I've been just doing some more work behind the scenes, so we're gonna get down. We're gonna get busy today. We're gonna make it make sense. Y'all know how I do it. I'm happy to have John right here by my side because we just flow. When we come together, our information just flow, and we get even more enlightened than what we plan. So I'm thankful to be here. Big ups to everybody. Hey, y'all. Shout out to y'all. And yes, we want to make sure the energy stays good. He got some more moderators. Let's make sure we keep positive energy in here. Let's keep the focus on Kanika. This is not about me. This is not about John. This is not about any other YouTuber. This is solely about justice for Kanika. And if we keep that mentality, y'all, and take this and take the beam out our own eyes and stop trying to pull a beam out or the blanket out of other people's eyes, we can remember what this is about and we can stay focused and we can actually make something happen. Or the planks out of other folks. Let's just stop that. Let's put our egos, our pride aside. Let's unite. And so thank you, John, for starting this and this whole content creators movement, bringing everybody together. This is awesome. This is so awesome. I'm sorry, y'all. My voice is going in and out, but this is awesome. Positive vibes only. Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's the direction we're going into, and that's the focus of where we're headed. And so, once again, it's an honor and privilege to have you on tonight's live to really, give us a huge picture, I guess, to draw a picture as to how you got involved in this case, at that time. How did this story actually come across to you? You know?
Well, it came across to me like many others. I was on Facebook during this time. I was really caught up in doing so much other stuff, just living my life. And this story right here just hit me like none other. Okay, and I think this story actually hit me in the way of Kendrick Johnson. You know, this story hit me big.
Mm,
And so I knew this was something major. This was something huge. And it was Irene's laugh that actually caught me. The laugh that went viral. I think like many other people, that laugh that went viral. You guys. So I watched the laugh like everybody else, and I just felt it was foul play. And I really wanted to know more. I wanted to learn more about what happened to this girl and seeing Kanika face those dimples. Oh my God, it just melted my heart. How many of y'all can agree? Like when we first seen her and that smile, and it just melted my heart. So I just really wanted to, learn more. And I didn't start off creating content. I start off watching other content creators, and and then it just got weird about a second, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is so weird. Like we just went off, we drifted off somewhere that I did not expect for this case to go. Until it got to a point where I said, you know what, because I got to praying on this case and I got to looking into the case behind the scenes and just sharing things with my husband, with my family. And so I said, you know what, maybe I can put my 2 cents in, and I never thought that my platform would grow and blow up as fast as it did. I just wanted to be someone that could just add a little 2 cents into the mix and see what people thought. Let me share my opinion. You know, let me share with people what I'm talking to my husband and my children about behind the scenes and see what they think. So I never came on here with any type of agenda. You know, I just wanted to, you know, see if I can be any help, any assistance to finding out some truth. Because like I said, at that point it went crazy. It got weirder about a second. So that's what made me decide to do what I'm doing today. And I thank God for all of you guys because if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't still be here today. Of course, I would have still been praying for justice for Kanika. I would have still, probably been looking into stuff and secretly sharing my findings with my family, but I wouldn't be here, you know. And speaking on YouTube today, if it wasn't for you guys. So the motivation that you gave me, the encouragement that you guys gave me, it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot. So I just want to say that. Thank y'all so much for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you have grown your platform in leaps and bounds. Uh, and going back when I first I was in your chat room, I said, this woman is on fire. I said, she's got some very detailed information regarding this case. And every time, you put out a video or you went live, I had my notifications on and unclick them and re-click them just in case they weren't working right because YouTube had issues with notifications and things of that nature back then. And I wanted to stay right with you on this story because of the way you were able to do your investigation of details and present the information, which was just so easy to understand, easy to follow. And it was just such a joy to have come across your channel and be in your chat room and make the comments that I made and support your every effort. And then there was a magic moment that you singled me out and then asked me to jump up uh, jump up on your live. So I just reminisce on those memories because it just seemed like yesterday to me, and it's just a blessing to know that where we have come from to point today in the case is also a blessing as well. You know, so, and I can relate. When I first heard Irene's live, I found out about this case. I think it was through a gentleman that is out in Texas who had a radio station. He was a YouTuber, and I get the name of his radio station. But anyway, he was talking about a news bulletin regarding a 19-year-old, a young girl who was found dead in a freezer in one of the hotels out in Chicago. And he really expounded on the story. The details of the actual event was still coming in. And so I started following it little by little. And then I began Googling it and then found, I think it was through the Chicago Times, the story, and I couldn't believe it. And it just grabbed me. And I said, my God, I said, well, what happened to this girl? And then all of a sudden, Irene's live uh, hit the charts, not only on Facebook, but on YouTube. And to hear the words help me, which everyone was focused on at that time, only said to me, yes, something was happening in that room. I said, oh my goodness. And someone had the nerve to post something like that. And in short order, I began, looking into, doing my own research on the case at that time. And then all of a sudden, Ty's Live shows up shortly thereafter. And I said, what in the heck is going on? And it's about the same girl that was found dead in the freezer at this hotel. And so I took it upon myself to continue following the story uh, from that point. And I said, well, there's got to be somebody on YouTube that has got to be covering the story outside of how I found out about the story. And slowly but surely, Mike Larry was a content creator producing very good information on the story, as well as Straight Drop and a number of other YouTubers out there at that time. I think Beach Beauty was doing her platform, and I Spy was doing her platform, and other people started coming on and doing platforms around this case. And so I knew the significance and how important the story was, but to see everyone start to involve themselves uh, at a point and on a level that just kept me focused on the story. And so, yeah, so I can definitely relate to that, Malika, and how you were able to actually do your own investigation. And the work that you did on this case is absolutely extraordinary, to say the least, in ways, and in many more ways than one, only because you were in an area of the case that a lot of people were not even talking about. And that is a part of Chicago, areas of Chicago that held significant points regarding the case. And you were able to expound those points and identifying a lot of the individuals, the people that were involved at the hotel. And so, tell us a little bit about, I guess, from finding out about the story now and then following up and following, I guess, your mindset in terms of the investigation. Um, how did you come across, I guess, looking at particular individuals? What led you in that particular area to begin looking at specific individuals pertaining to the case?
Well, as I was saying, looking at the lives that came out, Irene, and as you said, Ty's life, and just following, I guess, the rumors put out in the very beginning, we didn't really have much information on the case. We know what was said. They sold her friend for $200. We was hearing "Help Me" in the live. Um, we heard they over there raping her. All of the talk that was going around. So my main focus was to look into who are these people first, first and foremost, because I felt like I wouldn't get an understanding from the outside looking in. How can I understand what's actually going on in this room? How can I cross-examine everything that's going on, everything that's being said, all the rumors that's been put out, all the speculations, if I don't know who these people are? So my main focus was and why? Who did it to Kanika? And why did they do this to Kanika? And I feel like those were for me the two most important areas because the who gives up the why give the who and the why give us a motive. And so for me, I've always chased the motive. If any of you guys notice, on my channel, I've looked into almost every area you can think about. I believe I was the first YouTuber that put out a video about the uncle because I looked into every possible motive there was. And this is why I took the time out to look into every party goer and not just the main people, like the friends that we know about, um, but I mean even the sets of games and the way they came into the hotel, the people that really wasn't talked about, like Smacks and Hollywood and just trying to get an understanding like who are these people, and if this is true, what the world is saying, how can they allow this to happen to her? Or was they involved, or what's being said about her, is it true or not? So my whole thing is I felt like there was so many different YouTubers that was so talented, and when it came to computers and things like that, like they were way more advanced than I am when it comes to, analyzing footage and things like that. So for me, I said they're doing their part. Okay, they actually proven that these footages are edited, and I support that. But for me, I'm going to take a different route. I'm going to do what I know best, and that's to look into the street and break down what's going on in these labs as much as I can, um, and try to find a motive. So that's the reason why I took the direction that I took because, like I said, for me, I got street smarts. I'm more street smarts than book smarts or computer smarts. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm street smart, and yeah, I'm a maybe what 20 years a senior, some of them, but I'm like, hey, you know, the game don't change. The game stays the same. So really, it was just really about just me trying to understand who these people are, understand their lingo, understand their relationship to Kanika. And so I had other channels before this one right here that was actually taken down and everything. I had one that was terminated, but I had a lot of videos where I just studied the girls and the girls' relationship to Kanika. If some of y'all can remember that. Um, and so, as I got to digging, I just found it really interesting, the type of lifestyle that they lived. And I found a strong possibility that they could have intentionally harmed her. And so I just got to, looking in that area in my own lane, try to produce as many receipts as possible. Um, and, like I said, looking into all different types of motives. So let me just clear this up with y'all. It's not that I flip and I switch and I say, oh, this is positive. No, what I did was actually look at different motives, different, things, and let you decide whether or not this is possible. But it was definitely areas that needed to be looked at. It was definitely areas needed, and I wasn't the only YouTuber that made, bring a lot of this stuff up. We all was talking about, possibly the uncle or possibly um retaliation from her brother, or you see what I'm saying? So all these different motives and things was surfacing. So what I did was just took the time to look into almost everything that I was hearing out there. And I wanted to focus on what seemed to be the strong motive. Because as I said, with me, I wanted the who and the why. To me,
Right.
that's everything. For me to know why did they do this to her? Why was this young lady found in a freezer? To me, that meant everything. If I didn't have the why, I didn't feel like my job would be done. So I continue to this day because I won't stop until we get justice for Kanika and until my heart, my spirit know the who and the why.
Right. I agree. I agree. The way the story began to unfold at that time too, in terms of a motive. as to what happened to Kanika that was roaming around YouTube streets was the fact that I guess she was over at the Franklin liquor store and she had witnessed, I guess, an event or an incident to where someone was killed.
That
And
too. Yeah.
yeah, and so I said, "Wow!" I said, if that's what had happened, and here they come back around and found out that she witnessed this, uh, yeah, obviously her life is going to be jeopardized or in danger in some way, shape, or form, especially if the people who saw her there knew her, you know. And so
Exactly.
that was laid out on the table. And I said, well, if that's a story, then, my goodness, hopefully she'll be able to know this for herself and find ways to protect herself, from any kind of harm in the future. And then other stories started to pop out in reference to missing money from one of her ex-boyfriends, Rico, where I believe Rico and Mike, know each other and run the streets together and do business in the streets together. And we don't have to elaborate what that business is. We all pretty much get an idea as to what kind of employment they had, self-employment. And when money went missing, it seems as though Kanika's name got thrown in there, and perhaps somebody was looking to speak with her in regards to where that money was
And let
at
me
that
just say
time.
this real quick, John.
Yeah,
Going back to the Kanika witnessing a murder or a crime, you have witnesses going missing or being shot dead in the streets all the time. I mean, all the time. A lot of murders that happen in the hood is because of somebody seeing something or running their mouth or talking. And so I kind of felt like this was even deeper than that because I felt like this was more of a thing of trying to make her suffer or versus just shooting her and killing her and leaving her in the streets to die. So I've always felt like this was deeper, and I don't mean deeper as comparing the two, but I felt like it was more to it than just her witnessing something. And being raised and brought up in Chicago, the one thing you do learn is secrecy, is no snitching. Keep your mouth shut. So I didn't feel like I looked into it, don't get me wrong, but I didn't feel like that was solid enough for me to feel like that all these people would transpire against her in this fashion because they could have easily just killed her on the streets, made her disappear. She couldn't have talked. But I felt like this was more so of torture and making her pay in some way. And so I began to look at money being a motive because in the streets, again, money is normally always the motive. And I came out saying if you follow the money train, you will reveal a lot. Now, what I'm going to be presenting and discussing with everybody today is still my theory, I guess you could say, of following the money train. However, I can elaborate a little bit more on it. I can give you a full picture that I couldn't give you before. Because at that point, when I was discussing Rico, Mike, and the Vice Lords, my theory was basically just one sided. And it was because I just wanted to stay on track because there was so much becoming a content creator, so much being thrown at me, and I was getting all these different um, ideas, opinions of people, emails, pictures, just everything being thrown at me. And I said, I have to stay on track and I have to stay focused. So I had tunnel vision and I just wanted to just zone in on the vice lords because, as we all know, it was majority vice lords at that party. So having this one track man, um, I just zoned in on the vice lord. And as I said, if you follow the money trail, this is where I came up with this theory. Like you guys, I definitely, but I still stand on to this day that money is the motive, amongst other things too, amongst something else too. But money plays a strong part. But see, like I said, I was only able to give you guys one side because I only really looked heavy into one side, and that was the party goers who are majority vice lords. But today, you know, I'm going to give you guys another side. I'm going to expound on that a little bit because I've actually been looking at other groups that was there as well. Okay, and so I just wanted to kind of clear that up a little bit too, and I wanted to kind of give everybody understanding as to why, I put it out there because I felt strongly about money being a motive, and as far as high up as this thing go up the ladder, because you best believe this thing go up the ladder, this thing go high up the ladder. I knew it had to be some money involved, and I knew, and to torture somebody the way that they tortured Kanika, I just felt in my heart and in my spirit like, they were torturing her because of something a little bit more deeper than just her witnessing something, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, this thing goes deeper than that. It has something to do with money, and this money is being made high up the ladder. This thing is being covered up, and so I just, and I don't know how many YouTubers out there have actually connected the gangs with the hotel, but that was another job for me to do, is to find a way to connect the gangs in the hotel, because I was one of the ones that told y'all from the jump street, oh, they all involved. I never gave nobody a back seat, no pass. And if y'all know me, if anybody really know me and have worked alongside of me, if you excluded one person or one group from being involved, I no longer wanted to work with you. And anybody that worked with me can tell you that. I used to be like, you said what? The hotel is not involved. Oh no, we can't work together. You believe the friends didn't do what? Oh, we can't work together. And that wasn't me being, bullheaded or anything, but I just felt like this thing, like I told y'all from the beginning, I was going to start from the bottom and work my way to the top. I believe that this thing consists of different groups coming together. Maybe one might have kicked things off and the other one might finished it and the other ones might covered it up. But we're not going to exclude not one group, not one, if y'all get what I'm saying. So, hey to everybody who just coming
Yes,
in.
and for those that are moderators tonight, I do have Cole Pepsi as a moderator. Black Diamond is a moderator. David Dewberry is a moderator, and Brooke Valentine is a moderator. So I want to thank the moderators for their special endeavor tonight. We don't have any drama or chaos on this platform. Everyone comes in already knowing that when John Q comes on, it's going to be some information. And so the one thing I love about everyone that does join us in the chat is the fact that everyone comes in with respect and humility for each other. Please do not use foul language in the chat. We want to keep this live posted for everyone's viewing, and it's only fair to them that we keep the lives up. So, and I know everybody's good in terms of the use of their language. So we want to make sure that all housekeeping rules are in effect. And if someone does get a little outstanding with their language, they will be timed out. Okay. There was one of my subscribers last night in last night's live that was timed out for some strange reason. I didn't catch it because I was covering the autopsy and the toxicology report at that time. Soon, shortly thereafter, the live, I get a post uh, stating that this person was timed out for no reason. They weren't using any foul language or said anything sideways to anyone to be timed out. And so I just wanted to make it clear that everyone has an equal opportunity to express their thoughts and opinions on this particular topic. And as long as it's not directed at anyone in the chat, okay, in a negative way, in a negative way. And so, with that said, thank you to the moderators that I've selected in for tonight's live with Malika. And I'm going to allow her to take over the platform and to share with us some incredible information as to what her investigation involved and to unfold that information, most likely for the first time in 2.5 years, that this case has been still ongoing outside of the legal system. Okay. So it is very, very critical that we pay attention, take notes, most definitely, so that this way you're always informed, and we'll just keep our eyes and ears open going forward. Okay. So much love goes out to the chat for joining us in tonight's special Content Creators Live with Malika the Warrior. We have well over 200 people that's decided to join us, and I welcome every single one of you. Thank you so much for coming out tonight and sharing your time with us, because we are about to share our time with you. So, with that said, and without further ado, I'm going to bring Malika on, and she's going to take the platform for tonight's live. Malika, the platform is yours.
Oh wow. Thank you, John. What's up, y'all? What's up? Okay, like I said, some of the things I'm gonna share with you guys for the first time. And because I'm still looking into some stuff, I'm still, doing my research, my homework behind the scenes. But before I start, I want to give a shout out to Queen Jack. And I gave her the name Queen Jack before because I didn't know her name. I just know her name was Jay. And we worked so hard together behind the scenes. And this was when I first started. Actually, she helped me a lot into looking into the friends and the game sets. We spent countless nights just following these people, gathering all type of receipts, and I would do a presentation, put a presentation together, and I would present it to you guys. And so I really limited who I worked with, but she was somebody that I really valued and I held on strong to because she was just as motivated and passionate about this case as I was. So I want to give a shout out to her because I had to go back into what I call our old vault. And excuse me, guys, if y'all can't understand me because my throat is kind of still sore a little bit. But we went back and I had to go back into the vault and gather some stuff that we looked into from the very beginning because as I said to you guys, I had kind of a one track mind where I wanted to just stay focused because there was so much, so many people at that party, so much to learn about these people. And so I went back into the vault and I got to looking into some other stuff. But before I actually tell you guys about that, what made me go to back to the vault and to pull up and start digging some old receipts, and I told you guys this on my last live, there was, and let me just hear me out, there was some screenshots that was shared with us, okay, in the community. And you guys remember, you guys can remember, drop me a one. If you don't remember, drop a two. I'm not going to share them tonight, but you guys should remember, especially if y'all been following the case since day one, where someone contacted somebody that had a Instagram page and was doing Kanika content on an Instagram page, and they was saying, Kanika is not a queen. They was seem to be very upset. She is no queen. She took money. She that's what she got. She got what she deserved. Um, she screwed over the GDs. She didn't pay her money. She didn't, pay the money or whatever. So if you guys can remember, drop me a one so I can just make sure everybody is on board. And I'm telling you guys what made me go back to the vault and get to digging and looking into some more stuff. Because if you guys know, we don't just have vice lords. Yeah, majority of the people that she was around were vice lords, but we also had a lot of GDs that was there as well. Okay, and so I didn't get a chance to actually look into them because I was so focused on the Vice Lord. Um, and so okay, so most of y'all remember that the person was saying, she ain't no queen, she this, she that, whatever the case may be. So he seemed very angry, but you guys, these messages to me is extremely important because these messages, if you go back and you look at them on your own free time, is definitely written by somebody in Chicago, somebody who was definitely angry, and possibly somebody that knows everything that's been going on. That we, because remember they kept calling us outsiders. You outsiders don't know nothing. You outsiders. So, out of towners. My fault, y'all. Out of towners is what we was called. So, for me, this person definitely knew something, or possibly knew something that us out of towners didn't know. Okay, so what I did was I ended up going back to the beginning and I found those messages and I said, And my first man, I said, there's no way Kanika could have owed the GD's money. Like, I don't even see her being connected or linked whatsoever to the GDs. She was a breed. She got flipped. She was a vice lord. I don't see that being possible. Because remember, you guys, in the beginning, it was people that were speaking up in Chicago, young kids, people that know that they set their crew, and a lot of them was finger pointing. A lot of them was doing some finger pointing. They wasn't pointing it all at the hotel. They wasn't pointing it all at the hotel. They was letting it be known that even if you don't want to believe it, that these people do have something to do with what happened to her. So anyway, so I went back to that beginning, and it made me do some more digging and looking into is there a possible connection, that Kanika could have possibly had. Was there any way she could have possibly got a hold to, because like I said, for me, money is always the motive. Because right now, especially in this generation, everybody want to get money. Everybody want to get money and make a success out their life, right? That's what everybody's goal is. You ask anybody what their goal is in life right now, and I'm speaking on this generation right here, and it's to get money. Period. And for me, I don't think it's anything. I haven't seen anything after that. It's not to get money to grow in my spirituality. No, it's to get money and let everything else fall in place. Okay, so I'm gonna take y'all to Monifa's live because in Monifa's live, which John just discussed with us the other day, Monifa spoke about Kanika wanting another friend. If you guys remember that, that was something big. A lot of people have brought that up, and we just kind of feel like that stand out because she said it more than once. Like Kanika just wanted to have she wanted different friends. So I'm pulling up some stuff while I'm talking to you guys. Give me a second. And she let it be known. She said, it used to be back in the day just her and Kanika. It was just her and Kanika. But Kanika wanted different friends. So at some point, it was Kanika and Monifa, thick as thieves. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? At some point, it was Kanika and Monifa. They was thick as thieves. But then Kanika got to the point to where she wanted more friends. Who were these friends that Kanika wanted to hang with? Drop me a one as soon as y'all can see my screen. Can you see it, John?
Yes, I hear you.
Can you see my screen?
Let me see.
She was in love with Kanika. She wanted to marry her. Let me try this
Hey,
again. Let me try this again. Yeah, you would think she was in love with her. That's the way she act, right?
Okay. And I think we
Okay,
have it now. I
there we
think
go.
we have it. Okay.
So who was these friends that she wanted? Who was these other friends that she wanted? Kanika wanted to hang with other friends. Now, keep in mind, it was one point of Kanika's life where she was in a serious relationship with Rico, who was a vice lord. Okay, so Kanika started hanging, I'm sure, in Austin, in the hood, around Rico and maybe his friends. Kanika wanted to hang with different people other than Monifa. If you look in this picture right here, who's missing? Monifa. When Monifa speaks to us and she tells us in that live that Kanika wanted other friends, she wanted different friends, she talking about Irene, Bree Bree, and Shamaya. And I'm sure this was a problem. It was a problem because she probably felt like she was no longer a part of Kanika's life or she got pushed to the side because Kanika now started hanging with the Vice Lords. And remember, Irene in her lab, Irene tells us that Kanika was the glue to Irene and Monifa. They didn't even have a relationship outside of Kanika. So Kanika wanted to hang around a different crowd. This is her group of girls she hanging around. This is the people that she's hanging around now. She have a friend who's jealous. Well, let me bring you around. Let me bring you around now. So Kanika brings Monifa into her circle of friends. Are y'all with me? Somebody said you leaving me. Not sure who the guy is, y'all. Is anybody with me? This is just really the start. No, that's not Rico in this picture. Yep, that's Bree Bree. That's Bree Bree, Irene, and Shamaya. No Monifa. Let me blow it up a little bit. Okay, we all should have seen this picture before. This is just some stuff, some photos and stuff that I'm using to kind of prove my point and to get you all to see exactly where I'm going with this. Okay, okay. So during the time that Kanika was dating Rico, and I'm gonna try to be as thorough as possible. You know, if you guys are not following me, just let me know, and just be polite. But just let me know, and I'll try to make sure, we all are on the same page. If you guys can remember at the time that Kanika was dating Rico and hanging with her new friends, Monifa was in a relationship with Tolliver Herman, who's a GD. Are y'all with me? So her best friend is in a relationship with Tolliver Herman. He's a GD, which I'm pretty sure Tolliver Herman knew Kanika because Kanika and Monifa hung together since what she say the age of 13. They hung together for a long time, and Monifa was in a mad relationship with Tolliver Herman, and even got pregnant around the same time that Kanika got pregnant. Kanika got pregnant by Rico. You look up, Monifa say she was pregnant by her boyfriend. Okay, so Kanika walks away, and I'm not gonna say walk away from this relationship, but at some point she shifts her relationship from hanging around Monifa, who I'm not going to say is a legitimate GD, but she hangs with the GDs. Her boyfriend was a GD. Are y'all following me? And she started hanging with vice lords.
Malika, if you can
And
hear me,
vice lords,
I don't mean to
girls,
I don't mean to interrupt.
females.
If you can hear me,
And
Malika,
I believe Monifa was jealous. Of course she was jealous because she probably felt like she was outcast because she let that be known in her live more than once. Kanika wanted new friends.
Yeah,
She wanted
Malika,
to
if
hang with new
you can hear me,
friends.
you're going in and out a little bit.
How many times did she say that, y'all? Go back to that live and listen.
Okay, can you hear me
And I
now?
believe that Monique in that lab, she even lied. She even lied on Kanika when she said, I was drunk. Me and Kanika was drunk. We drunk the whole bar. We had a whole host. So she's definitely
Okay.
lying. Because if you look at her status, it mentioned that it was also several witnesses that Kanika. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were breaking up a little bit.
Okay, y'all can't hear me. Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear now. So
I can hear
during
you.
that
Can y'all hear me?
yeah, during that time you
Can
were
y'all hear me? Drop me one if
yeah,
y'all can
during
hear me
that time
because
you
I'm
were
breaking up, John.
yeah, no, I hear you loud and clear. I hear you loud and clear, but during the time you was explaining the photograph and the dialogue that went with it, you were breaking up.
John,
Yeah.
I'm still breaking up.
No, you're
Wow.
good now. Yeah, you're good now. You should be good now. Yeah, drop a one in the chat if everyone can hear Malika now clear. She was breaking up a bit during the time that she was going over the information pertaining to the photo.
Okay, how do I sound now? Oh, okay. Okay. Y'all sure I'm good? Before I get
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good now.
okay. I can okay. Okay. I don't know where I left off. Okay. I don't know exactly which one you guys heard, but relationship. If I heard it would be circle walk away from her friendship, her relationship, or whatever, with Monisa because she decided that she wanted new friends. So she started hanging with Rico's in Rico's hood with Rico's friend with the Vice Lord girls. And this is the reason why we heard that Kanika was the glue between Irene and Monisa. Are y'all with me? Y'all follow me? Because she was in fact the glue. I want to bring up some more pictures and stuff, but I don't know if I'll get choppy once I start bringing these pictures up.
Yeah, and also before you do, I just wanted to be sure we got our tails covered. And so
Disclaimer.
yeah, I'm just thank you for reminding me. I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. All right, so I'm just gonna do a quick screen share and everyone just
Okay. Oh, good.
yeah, and everyone just type a one in the chat room just to let us know that we're coming in loud and clear while I put up the disclaimer. And we could do that. I'm like, wait a minute, we can't do this without a disclaimer. All right, so what you see there is a content copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. We want to make sure that any postings of information, photographs, or anything to that effect, we are covered by the copyright disclaimer and content disclaimer under this category. So this way, we could keep the live up and make sure that the content in its entirety stays complete. All right. So with that said, need to do that. You know how YouTube is now with these new laws and new rules and regulations. We got to follow them. So going back to our live, I'm going to take it off screen share and bring Malika back on. And I think we're working this panel here to bring Malika back on. And there she is. Okay.
I'm back. Okay, did you
Okay.
guys pretty much understand what I was saying about the dynamics of their friendship? And when Monifa was stating that Kanika wanted new friends, she was talking about this new circle of friends that she was hanging with. And if you can remember, Peasy and Killer said they only really been knowing her for 2 years. And so the guys, the girls, when I say the girls, I mean Irene, Shamaya, Bree Bree. These is a new circle of friends that Kanika wanted to hang around. And Monifa was definitely jealous about that. So what did Kanika do? She did as any good friend would do. She brought her old friendship with Monifa, her best friend who she been cool with for years, into her new circle. Are y'all following me? But we must keep in mind that before she did, we have to keep in mind that Monifa's loyalty had always been to the GDs. Are y'all following? We must keep in mind that even though we seen pictures and we seen them all together, that Monifa's loyalty had always been to the GDs. She was basically around because Kanika was definitely the glue that brought them together. Slider, you did not say repeat it. You might have to go back and rewind. You might have to go back and rewind the live, Slider. Okay, I think most of the people heard me. So, um, Slider, yeah, go back and watch it. So I just pretty much broke it down again. Okay, so basically you have one friendship. We old school friends. We day ones. But you have Kanika. She opened herself up to a new circle, a new gang of friends, which was the Vice Lords, which and the Vice Lords consist of Irene, Shamaya, and Bree Bree. Sakara, you guys know those are the Vice Lord girls. Monifa was not. Monifa loyalty have always lied with the GDs. Her boyfriend Tolliver Herman, GD. A lot of the girls she hung around with, GD. Now I'm going to get to her relationship with Mariah. I'm going to get to why I believe she started hanging with Mariah. I'm going to get to that. But we must understand that Monifa's loyalty always lied with the GDs. Okay? Y'all got me? Y'all follow me? Okay, I'm trying to screen share something else. So if I get a little breaky, then this is why. I guess it's because, the screen sharing. I would assume. John, I don't know if you have to do something on your end.
Yes. Okay. You. I definitely have to do something on my end. All
Okay.
right. All right. So if you when you begin, if you're coming in choppy and everything, then I'm going to eliminate the screen share to bring you back because it just seems as though as you began talking in regards to the last picture, you began breaking up, and that was a critical piece of information I know that you were explaining regarding the picture. And so we just want to make sure everyone understood what the dialogue to that picture represents, because what Malika is doing right now is that she is trying to and going to tie in all the relevant parts that make sense in this case. So I'm going to screen share right now,
Okay.
and you can
Okay.
begin.
Okay. So let me blow it up a little bit so you guys can see. So I'm only blowing this up and I'm only sharing this picture. Let me go back. So you guys can actually see. that Kanika was the glue that brought these two girls together. Okay, so there was no Irene and Monifa relationship beforehand. And I thought maybe so, right? A lot of us probably thought so. But after listening to Irene's live and doing my own digging, I don't believe that they ever had a relationship without Kanika. Monifa was a GD. She hung with the GDs. Her baby daddy or boyfriend was a GD. Irene grew up on a separate side of town. She repped the vice lords, hung with the vice lords. And so Kanika was the person to actually bring these two girls together because of her loyalty to Monifa, who was probably jealous because she started hanging with new friends. Are y'all with me? So I'm only really bringing this picture into existence right now to kind of give you all a visual of where I'm going with this. So y'all can actually see that the relationship is only solely because of Kanika. I'm chopping bad again.
Now you were doing good. You were
Okay.
doing good. So far, so good.
Okay. So when I share a picture, I guess I'm only gonna leave it up. I'm gonna speak on Mariah, Mika. I'm just not there yet, sweetheart. I'm just trying to take my time and where I'm going with it because I don't want to leave anything out. Okay. So if y'all got a little time, just give me a little time. But I definitely know that Monifa is friends with Mariah, which is Rico's baby mama, and I'm actually gonna get into that in a few seconds. So anyway, I sound good. Okay, let's get it. Okay, so as I just mentioned to y'all, as far as dynamics of their friendship, I want you guys to just understand that Monifa loyalty has always lied with the GDs, and at some point, Kanika actually did hang with the GDs. And if you guys can remember, in the very beginning, it was the GDs that was saying "F Kanika," that was being real disrespectful to Kanika. Now, remember, we had some messages that came out in the very beginning saying that Kanika ran off or did something with the GDs, and the GDs wanted revenge. They wanted to pay her back. They wanted to do this, that, and the other to her. Okay, she ain't no queen. She this, that, and the other. And I'm gonna share some more stuff with y'all. I hate to even go back to this right here, but I just want to kind of refresh y'all memory a little bit. Um, am I still screen sharing? Oh no. Okay, hold on. Let me
Okay.
stop screen sharing this. Everything
Okay.
else is picked up on that. Yeah, definitely, Fred. Okay, let me screen share some more stuff with y'all, which hate to bring this stuff back, but we need to kind of refresh in our memory when and I had to because, like I said, I had a one track mind just looking into the Vice Lord, so I kind of took my time and I looked at um, everything. I went in full circle and I looked at everything. Okay, so where was I going? My mind just slipped.
You were going to screen share something once again.
Oh yeah, yep, yep. Thank you, John.
Yes, you're welcome. You're welcome. And as soon
I
as I
need to
get it,
go. I forgot just that quick. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna bring this picture back, and I know you guys remember this picture. I know you guys remember this picture. So John, I'm getting ready to screen share it, and you're gonna have to pull it up.
okay. And while Malika's doing that, I want to welcome everyone to tonight's Content Creator Live with Malika, the Warrior. And we're getting into some real good information. We've got well over up to about 240 people up in here. Much love to you and for everyone that's joined us here tonight. We're going to go into
Yes, Perry, the Wilson
screen
brothers
share.
RGP. Yes, ma'am, or sir. I'm sorry, I can't really see your picture, but yes, the Wilsons are GDs. So we had a number of GDs at the hotel that night, and they were pretty much scattered throughout. And so yeah, the Wilsons were actually GDs as well. But if you guys can remember, um, it was Tyler Herman that did this post and was basically like F Kanika. We had a lot of posts in the beginning, a lot of disrespect surrounding her name coming from this particular set. If y'all can remember, this particular set, I had never seen no disrespect coming from, and I'm just gonna keep it real with y'all, coming from the Vice Lord. They was actually repping her color. They were at her memorial. If y'all with me, they were at her memorial. Some even attended the funeral. Um, they celebrated her birthday. Is y'all with me? When it came to the breeze, they were writing poems, drawing pictures, repping the purple. This was the only set. I'm not gonna say the whole game, but the only set that I heard a lot different sets coming from the GDs that I heard a lot of disrespect, calling her out her name, saying she ain't no queen. F Kanika, if y'all can remember what I'm talking about. So, and like I said, this right here is just gonna give us a moment to kind of highlight Monifa's people. We just gonna highlight Monifa's people because we had some GDs at that party. And so I don't know about everybody else, but for me, they kind of went under the radar because it was flooded with vice lords. And again, I'm going to also make the connection between the GDs and the vice lords, and we're going somewhere with it. Let's put it like that. We're going somewhere with this. Okay, so they were being like disrespectful, extremely disrespectful to Kanika. And like I said, I hadn't seen that from any other gang, any other group. We also had some things that we found, some posts that we found from other gang members that was speaking about drug money and whether or not Kanika took somebody's money and what was going on. Y'all know we had Rakita. And let me tell y'all something interesting about Rakita. I don't have Rakita's post because I didn't share Rakita's post so many times. And if you guys know who Rakita is, drop me a one just to make sure you guys know who I'm talking about. And Rakita, she's a Junius. She is Rico's cousin-in-law. She's married to Rico's cousin. So if you guys can remember Rakita, let me just give you guys a heads up who Rakita is. Rakita is the one that made that post that said when you take somebody's money or you run off with somebody's money and next thing you know it, your mom is on the news crying, asking about what happened to her daughter. Okay, so most of y'all know who I'm talking about, Rakita. Okay, so that was Rakita. Now let me tell y'all an interesting fact too. You guys can fact check this for yourself because I didn't bring the receipts on that, but it's definitely true. Y'all know I ain't no lie. Rakita Junius, like I said, she is Rico's cousin-in-law. She's married to his cousin. I believe it's his cousin, but she's married into the family. Okay, did y'all also know that Rakita is Tolliver Herman's niece? Who knew that? So Rakita, the same girl that said something about when you take somebody mother money and a mother is on the news, talk about what happened to my baby. She is not only Rico's in-law, but she's also the niece of Tolliver Herman. Definitely remember her. Okay. So she's also, my point of saying it is Rakita is related to a vice lord as well as the GD. Some people didn't know that. Some people didn't know that, but that was like huge for me. Like what? She is Tolliver Herman's niece. Okay. All right. So yeah, that's an interesting fact, you guys. Y'all can go and look that up yourself. She's related to Tolliver Herman as well as Rico. Okay. So this is how small this city is. Okay. All right. I'll just screen share something, John. Okay. So we had a post that somebody wrote, and I'll have a post. I just had the message because I mean the comment because that's really what mattered. But the guy said something about I know you niggas ain't take that girl stuff. I know y'all ain't do all that. Y'all what I know y'all not that thirsty over some stuff. Y'all get what I'm saying. So the guy replied in the comments, and this is like I said, these are a part of the GD set. The guy replied in the comments, "What if she ain't innocent and she owes hella money, real money? But that shit shouldn't be happening, whatever the reason is. The fuck type of world we live in." Okay, so this was another post, another comment that we saw amongst the set talking about what happened to Kanika. The guy wrote a post and he said, I know y'all niggas ain't that thirsty over some coochie or whatever. I'm sorry, I don't know what other way to say it. Some vajayjay. I know y'all not that thirsty. And so the guy came back and he said, "What if she ain't innocent and she owe hella money, like real money?" And he said, "But that shit ain't supposed to be happening, whatever the reason is." Okay. So we had a lot of conversation about Kanika and money and leading to money. Okay. And especially amongst a group, a gang, what can I call a set, amongst a set of gang members who was very upset, who was disrespecting her name. And there was gang wars, if you paid attention early on afterwards. I'm going to get into that much later. But we did have a set of people who was throwing this out there. And not to mention, let me take your man back to those messages that Instagrammer received saying that this was the case. And I found those messages to be so y'all. I'm like, you know what? These messages for me right now is solid because I'm gonna say this too. I know I'm kind of jumping ahead of the gun, but it was something in that message that really stood out to me. And I'm talking about the message that was given to that Instagrammer. I don't mean to be all over the place, but if any of y'all been following this case from day one, y'all following me. If y'all new to the case and y'all not following me, just drop a two, and I'll try to elaborate on it even more. But the messages that came out saying she ain't no queen. She took somebody money. She did this. She did that. They also said that her throat was sliced. You know what he said? You know what GDs do to a B that don't pay up? He said we drag her ass through the dirt. We slice her throat. Throw her ass in the freezer. Anybody remember that? Drop me a one. So as I was telling John, those messages for me seem so solid because I also got to looking up, can a thymus gland be removed through an incision on a neck, through a neck incision? And it very well can be. Now, maybe I might put all of this together. Matter of fact, I would put all this together one day in a presentation and show you guys everything from A to Z. But a thymus gland can be removed from an incision on the neck. So this is where I believe at the hotel, that I believe that when we see the medical examiner at the hotel, I believe that her thymus gland was removed because there was already an incision on her neck. So this is the reason why I believe that these messages were so solid. Not to mention, I believe that it came from a GD that was angry. And that was tough. They was really angry at the world at this point because y'all calling her queen, and this B, I'm just saying what they might be saying, and this B stole money from us. She ain't no queen, if y'all can recall. Okay, so it was a lot of talk in the beginning about this. And like I said, I'm going to go one day and I'm going to gather all my receipts and probably put it all in the presentation because I just have a little bit for y'all for tonight because John kind of brought me this, asked me about this last, at the last minute, and I had a lot of things going on. I ended up getting sick, but I'm just giving y'all a little bit to kind of go off of. But and that's why her neck is covered. Actually, yes, the dirty glove. And I also told John, and I said, John, could that be why her neck was covered? They took her thymus gland and stitched her back up. They took her thymus gland and stitched her back up. But we can believe that so much happened that night. But for me, it was so solid reading the message when he said, we do to bees like that. We drag them through the dirt. We beat their ass. We drag them through the dirt. We slice their effing throat and we throw their ass in the freezer. You see what I'm saying? And remember, you guys, I'm going to keep bringing this to y'all memory. This is Monifa's people. Hello, this is Monifa's people who Kanika used to hang around, who Kanika used to be around, but Kanika decided to walk away and hang around, and she wanted new friends. So she brought Monifa into her new element, into her new circle. But like I said to y'all, Monifa loyalty lies with them. Now, why is Monifa hanging with the ops today? Hmm. Well, I
Good
always,
question.
like I said to y'all, I did videos before. I did videos in the past where I actually showed you guys. I don't know if you guys can remember because it was on my previous channel where I showed you guys how Monifa was in the shadows of Kanika. I mean, yeah, in Chicago, you see a lot of girls who, are twinning them and they look like gang doubles. But for me, when I look at Monifa, she was more in Kanika's shadow versus being a look-alike, dressing alike. It was more like she was in her shadow. So, am I jumping ahead of myself? Let me see. Okay, so although Kanika hung with the Vice Lord, the Vice Lord girls, Irene, Shamaya, Bree Bree, Kanika was also cool with Mook. Mook is Rico's other baby mama. Kanika hung with those group of girls. Now, I wish I had like a little chart or something to kind of give y'all a visual. And I'm hoping I'm not jumping all over the place. I'm hoping y'all following me. So Kanika hung around Irene, Mook, Shamaya, Bree Bree. And I don't know, I forgot Mook's real name. If y'all know it, drop it in the chat room. But I know her by Mook because when I was following her page and stuff back in the day, I would see Mook a lot. Okay. Mook and Mariah, they're both Rico's baby mamas. They also ops to each other. Ops just mean enemies. They don't like each other. Okay, Kanika hung around Mook. She was cool with Rico baby mama Mook because of Irene. Is the reason why she was cool with Mook. But they was not cool with Mariah. Are y'all following me? So although Mariah is a vice lord, that doesn't matter. The fact that the girls had penis in common, an ex-boyfriend in common, they was not cool. Do y'all get what I'm saying? Shatika Ayla, is that her name? Okay, but they call her Mook. Okay, so yeah, so what was I saying? So Mook and Mariah was not cool. Kanika was not cool with Mariah. So here you have today Monifa once again following in the shadows of Kanika, hanging with Vice Lord females, but she can't hang with Irene, Shemaya, and Bree Bree. She decides to hang with Mariah and her girl. I'm hoping I'm not throwing up. Is y'all with me? Bree Bree and Irina was cool, right? Okay, so yeah, they call her Mook. Okay, are y'all with me on that? Are y'all with me on that? So Monifa now, okay, so now not only is she down with the GDs, but maybe I kind of jumped ahead of myself. Um, to get in good with the Vice Lord, now she's hanging with Vice Lord girls. But if she's not hanging with the same circle of friends that Kanika hung out with, she hung out with their enemies. Okay, I see y'all with me. Cool. So to me, it's still like Monifa just following in the shadow of Kanika. Even though Kanika ain't even here, she's still following her shadow. But she hanging with Vice Lord girls who didn't get along with Kanika and her girls. Okay? I know it's a lot. It was a lot for me to take in. It was a lot for me to take in. Okay, and I hate to bring this screenshot up because I don't even know who this girl is, and I meant to cut her name off, so I don't know. Maybe let me stretch it out before you actually share it, John, so I can get rid of her name.
Okay.
Okay. I don't want to put nobody on blast. And I shared this before with you guys, but I'm just bringing it back up so you guys can understand. We on some real talk, real life stuff. I'm not here to entertain nobody. I didn't even want to have to go down this road again where I'm calling all these people out. But like I said before, I gave y'all one side. Now it's time for us to see the other side and get the big picture. So I shared this with you guys before. It was a post that was made by one of the gang members that said, if you don't feed the gang and they snake you, don't act surprised. Now, a lot of this stuff came out during the time of Kanika's disappearance or death, demise. So, and I had did this in my Feed the Beast presentation. And I was telling you guys, I said, as long as you affiliated, you have to be able to feed the beast. You got to be able to make money. And at some point, Kanika just hanging with Monifa and her people and her squad. I don't know if she was given something, fronted something. I don't know that, I don't know that part of it. But if you, the girl said, if you don't feed the gang and they snake you, don't act surprised. They was telling us in the beginning that money was the motive in every so way. They was telling us in the beginning. They was telling us in the beginning. Now, if you pay attention, you go back and you look at all that stuff that was said in the beginning. Besides the people that was saying, "Well, hey, y'all that thirsty over some," but besides that right there, they was telling us in the very beginning that money was the motive. Yep, you should. Yeah, y'all all should have seen this right here. This is stuff that I also shared too in a previous live. Okay, and this was stuff that I was looking at when I was trying to, when I was looking at the vice lords, and I was trying to determine whether or not she took Rico's money, or did she take somebody's money, or what could have happened. Now I want you guys to see the connection and understand the connection between the vice lords and the GDs. Because at first, even when I came out, and I know you too, John, we kept saying like, "Come on now, different gangs in one hotel." Like, then we had Kimberly talk about 5 gangs in one hotel. Then we had Mike saying it was, multiple gangs in one hotel. But for us, that was really hard for us to fathom because we like gangs don't, kick it like that. They don't come together like that. They are supposed to be each other's eyes. What I'm gonna tell y'all, money will bring anybody together. Money will bring anybody together. So what I'm sharing with y'all now is a photo of Quan, who is the GD, and Killer. That's Killer in the middle with the white tank and a white wrap around his head. And we also see Quan in the photo. Okay, so remember, it wasn't just Irene's party. It was Irene and Killer's party. So Killer actually did have a lot of, and this is a photo that goes back to 2014 that we had in the old vault that we found. Okay, so Killer and Quan been close way before this whole party thing. Right, Killer had the party that night also. Exactly, which is why we see a lot of GDs at that party as well, because Killer is cool with some GDs. This is Killer and Quan. Killer is the vice lord, Quan is the GD. They've been cool. They've been cool. So let me just get to the meat and potatoes. If there was an instance where Kanika headed to be hand over from one group to the next group, it wouldn't have been a problem. If Kanika is now a confessing vice lord, she called herself a vice lord. She used to date a vice lord, and she needed to be handed over to the GD because of something she did prior to flipping to a vice lord. it wouldn't have been a problem because you have certain sets, certain members that's cool with the GDs. Are y'all with me? I'm just trying to make sure I get down to the nitty gritty. Because you never know, just lab cut off anything. So if there was ever a point where Kanika had to be handed over to the GD to the from the vice lord to the GD, there had to be some kind of mutual agreement. You know, so it wouldn't be just an attack on the girls. You know, just so a war wouldn't break out. It was a mutual. It wouldn't have been a problem because you have both. You have members from both sets cool with each other. And who would be the person to hand her over? Remember, it was said, and it was so shared with. I'm telling y'all about that. The messages. He also Nika had to be the one. Kanika had her chance to make some money that, but she was bull stuffing around. Not get if Nika, they would have got Aya and Khalifa. Do anybody is it follow me? Hello, hello.
Yeah,
Let
you're
me
breaking up
sound.
just a little bit. Yeah, you're breaking up just a little bit. Just allow a
Y'all hear me?
couple of seconds. Allow a couple of seconds to pass. Maybe the
Can y'all hear me? I have to stop
yeah,
screen sharing sometime with the screen sharing on. It's interrupting. I'm breaking up very bad. John,
yeah. I'm with
hello,
you.
hello.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Because it just seems every time you screen share,
Still breaking up.
after a certain period of time, it starts to break up. But you're good now. You should be good.
I had to take that screen share off sometime. Drop me a one if I'm good, y'all. I'm not on my
Yeah,
phone,
you
Devin.
sound clear.
Okay. Yeah, y'all. It happens every time we screen share. Okay, y'all. Every time we screen share, it seems like that's what happens. So share a little bit, talk, and then I'll take the picture off. Okay. Because every time we screen share, it seems like that's what happens. We getting broken up. Okay,
Okay,
y'all.
that sounds good.
Okay. Okay. So what I was saying was there's the connection, which I'm going to show you guys shortly. There's a connection between the GDs and the Vice Lords, a major connection between the gangs, but you also have a connection and friendship amongst a lot of the sets. Okay, okay, lovely, I'm gonna repeat it. You also have a friendship amongst a lot of the sets. Did you guys see that picture, John, that I put up with Quan and Killer?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, making sure. Okay. So you also have a friendship amongst a lot of the sets. Therefore, that shows you that if Kanika, I think I said something else before that too. Okay, that shows you that if Kanika owed any debt to the GD, it would have been nothing for the vice lord to agree and hand her over because there's also a friendship amongst both the gangs. So it would be nothing for them both to come together and hand her over. Y'all have to understand, like I said, Monifa's loyalty lies to the GDs. Irene, them, their loyalty lies to the vice lords. So if there was ever any debt to be owed or anything of that nature where the GDs wanted to hurt Kanika, it would have been nothing for them to get they friends, the people who's in a set, opposite gangs, but people who they have a relationship with, to hand her over. And as I said, who would do the handoff? It would be Monifa. Because it was also said to us in those messages that Kanika was given the opportunity to make some of the money back. But Kanika jerked off that night. Instead of working and making some of the money back, making the money, she jerked off that night, right? It was also said to us in the very beginning that it was Monifa who created a back page account for Kanika so she can make some money that night. It was also said to us in the very beginning that if Kanika did not come up with this money, not only would Kanika be hurt, but possibly the other girls can be hurt too, meaning Monifa and Shamaya. Now, if y'all can remember, it was said to us in the very beginning that they wasn't gonna just get Kanika. You know what I'm saying? They was talking about if they didn't get Kanika, or if they didn't get Kanika, they was possibly gonna get Kanika, Shamaya, and Monifa. And go back to those messages. Oh, the guy said in those messages, when the girl asked, the Instagram girl asked him, she said, did her friend set her up? He said, well, kind of, sort of. Monifa left her hanging. He said, but hell, if they didn't get Kanika, they would have killed all three of them, meaning Kanika, Shamaya, and Monifa. Well, y'all might say, why those three, Malika? Well, those was the ones, for one, Monifa is the one who was close to Kanika and brought Kanika probably around the GDs, and Shamaya was the one closest to Kanika at that time. So hadn't they not killed Kanika, they was threatened to kill Kanika, Shamaya, and Monifa, which is the same two girls they claim that walked out the door with Kanika. Hello, are y'all with me? So the reason why we got the names Shamaya and Monifa was last seen with Kanika and walked out with Kanika because they were also being threatened. If they didn't get Kanika, they was gonna kill possibly Monifa because Monifa was around Kanika. Monifa had the GDs around Kanika, around the GDs, and Shamaya was the one who Kanika was around 24/7 every day into her last damn days. They was around each other a lot. So Shamaya's life was also on the line. Are y'all feeling me? So Monifa and Shamaya handed Kanika over to some people in that hallway. Hello. And the people that Monifa handed Kanika over to in that hallway was GDs. At least one of them. And it wouldn't have been nothing to make an agreement with the vice lords or to let them in on what was going to happen, because even though Kanika was now a confessing vice lord, at this point she had already broke up with Rico. At this point she was already trying to change her life, probably wasn't making no money for him. So they probably didn't value Kanika like that. And it was nothing for them, for Killer or for whoever else, to make an agreement, the Quad Killer, whoever. It was nothing for these two sets of gang members to make an agreement to hand her over. Is y'all with me? Drop me a one.
Yes, yes, yes. Drop a one, drop a one, drop a one, drop a one. Did y'all hear what Malika just said? Please drop a one.
And
Malika's tying all this.
I mean, I can go higher up the letter and connect them all together. I'm just waiting for somebody to tell me that they don't believe me. Then I'm gonna come back with some even more receipts, because I can literally tie both gangs together. But since we not looking at gangs and we just focusing on sets, then let me tell y'all how these sets have a friendship and a connection. Now, when y'all ready to look at the gangs in totality, then I'll show y'all how they all connected and how they connected to the hotel and the hotel employees. and how they all get money together. It's a business. They all get money together. And I'm even drop a little jewel for y'all. I'm even drop a little jewel for y'all. But I'm gonna say that towards the end. Okay, so it was nothing for the two girls to hand her over because we have to remember their life was on the line too. And so me and John was talking about who could they possibly hand her over to. Well, we got three people who were in the hall during the time or around that time shooting dice. We got people in the hall shooting dice. So who was in the hall with Kanika? What time were they in the hall? What time was they shooting dice? This is something that we looking into still right now. So I'm not gonna put my 100% stamp on this right here, but from my understanding, per Monifa, Quan was in the hall shooting dice. According to the statement, Wayne and Six was in the hall shooting dice. So you have two members of Jenkins City, Wayne and Six, and you have Quan, who is the GD, in the hallway shooting dice. Once again, if they was all shooting dice together, y'all see the mixture. But y'all already know Quan was invited through Killer. They friends. They homies. No big deal. So we have dudes in the hallway shooting dice possibly around the time she was taken. And now I'm a firm believer in her two friends handed her over. If not, it would have been their ass too. Excuse me, Lord. Y'all feel me? Do you get what I'm saying? Now, see, we have to dig up some of them old screenshots. We have to dig up some of this old stuff because it was already put out there in the very beginning. I've been going in my old vault. And y'all know that vault, that old phone that we have where we stack screenshots and stuff from in the beginning of the case. We have to go back to the beginning so we can get the full picture.
And
Man is a part of the GD.
and
So we
Malika,
have a lot of GDs that, and we seen around the same time Kanika roaming the halls.
yeah, Malika, also too, since you brought that up, we know that Sticks, who was in the hallway, one of the individuals in the hallway shooting dice, was one of the dudes in black.
Hello, John. Let's get it, John.
Sticks was in that hallway shooting dice with Wayne, and we have now Quan in that hall shooting dice. So that's three males in that hallway when Monifa took Kanika out into that hallway. And then Shemaya joined them in that hallway. And so now, tonight, I believe for the very first time in this case, we can now come to a point to say who was in that hallway other than Shemaya and Monifa when Kanika was taken out that room. And that was Sticks, Wayne, and Quan. And once again, Sticks was wearing all black. Thank you, Malika, for bringing that up because that is the critical turning point, I believe, in this case.
Amen, amen, amen. We still got some more work to do, y'all. But I just wanted to give you guys, a little piece of what we've been working on behind the scenes. And it was really critical that we looked at the full picture because, if you guys know me, I've always looked into who Kanika was surrounded by. But like I said before, I just really focused on one group and trying to break that group down. So now we listing. I'm actually writing a list of all of the GDs that was there that night, time stamping their whereabouts, where they were at a certain time, so I can be able to get the full picture and maybe present everything in a slideshow for you guys. So that was huge. That was huge for me. And like I said, you guys, I was gonna drop a little juice. We have to understand that they all are connected. Um, through the drug industry, through money. They all connected through money. Okay, a lot of these sets make monies together, and you guys probably seen that graph that I did that I drew up, and I really just kind of let me see if I can pull that up real quick without breaking up. If I start breaking up, let me know. And I really did that just to give you guys a visual of how they are connected. And if you guys can remember, let me say this before I actually try to do it too. Tenacia is a GD. Yes. We know Ty Rowland is a renegade, but at the same time, his dead affiliate was GD. And so that's why I did that little draft, but I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I was gonna say something too, kind of got thrown off. So let me just go ahead and pull this up and go from there. And I'll just kind of end it with this right here. Okay. Okay. Let me pull this up to y'all real quick.
And that would make absolute sense as to the reason why nobody is talking, especially when you have two gang sets there at the party at the Crown Plaza on the ninth floor that early morning. No one's talking. And it would absolutely make positive sense as to the reason why Monifa is not talking and Shemaya is not talking.
Exactly. Exactly, John. Okay, I'm gonna screen share this real quick and just kind of go over it with y'all a little bit. I dropped it on my channel, but I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of go over it with you guys a little bit because I want you guys to understand that um, this is a drug business, and the Mexican gang, we just say gang right now, have been flooding the streets of Chicago with drugs. Okay, and we have a lot of drugs that's being governed by the GDs. Okay, GDs that are in the penitentiary. I don't know if you guys know it, but you know Hoover and El Chapo, they both in the same prison together, and they still flooding the streets, still flooding the streets to this day. Like the drugs is still, the money is still being made. But I want you guys, I want to put y'all attention on the bottom, like starting from the bottom, you have your foot soldiers. And I just really put the Goody Mob gang, the foot soldiers could be any small ranking set of gangbangers, okay? But I just called them the foot soldiers, and I just really zeroed in on the Goody Mob because that's who we know and that's who we look into pertaining to Kanika's case. So when you dealing with the foot soldiers, these are the guys who actually out there making the money in these people's hands. If you look on their social media pages and they got stacks and racks of money, it's a lot of money to be made because they've been flooding the streets of Chicago with drugs. Okay, so the little jewel I want to drop. A lot of y'all probably already know this, but some of y'all may not. I mean, it was kind of new to me. Okay, the foot soldiers who out there selling the drugs, making the money, they're being supplied by higher ranking people or higher ranking sets. Like, and I have in at the top of the chart in the blue, I have Chester Mob Boys, Jenkins City. So you have like Mike and his crew are supplying people like Rico and a crew. Then in the same bubble, you have Ty Rowland, and maybe whoever he was associated with. I don't know, but we just gonna keep it on Ty Rowland, who supplies the foot soldiers. Okay, so what they do is, and like I said, this is just a little juice for y'all. What they do is they take this money and they create legitimate businesses. So they take the illegal money and they turn around and they create legitimate businesses. And remember, I told you guys that Mike owned the car wash. It's stores, it's different things that's being owned by these people because that's what they're doing. They actually work in this business together. So to mess up anybody's money is huge. I don't want y'all to think that it's something that's small, like, oh, she just screwed up a couple dollars. This is a $12.6 billion drug business that's going on in Chicago right now. You have your foot soldiers out there making money, and in turn, the money that they make, they turn around, and you have people like Carl Nesbitt. You have people like um, other individuals like Mike even, who turn around and buy property or buy legitimate businesses. Are y'all with me? Like I told you, it get even deeper. So and this is when I feel like let me see. I feel like when it comes to certain sets and certain individuals, such as Mike, and we see that Mike have a relationship with Ty. We see the Chester Mob boys and even the Jenkins City crew. We see that they have a lot of relationships with the GDs. Why do they have relationships with the GDs? Why do this certain clique of people, this certain set of gang members, vice lords, why do they have a connection with the GDs? Because they all get money together, people. They all get money together. And it go even higher up. It go even higher up because, like I told you guys before, and I'ma stick to it. I might not have those solid receipts on it, but if I can't produce them, somebody will. Some of those people in that hotel is also connected to this business because I'm sure that that's where their suppliers are. They major suppliers are workers inside that hotel. Do y'all get what I'm saying? So everybody is connected. Everybody are connected. Let me stop it so I won't break up and we can just talk. Okay, so we have a connection, and I've been telling you guys, I've been saying, this thing go high up the ladder, but at the same time, you have a lot of, because you have to think about it. The front desk clerk pushed that card through. He forced that card to go through. That shows you from the very beginning that they are connected to these kids. That shows you from the very beginning they've been had a relationship with them. I'm pretty sure this. Matter of fact, I got proof, y'all. I got receipts. And this ain't the first time they used Crown Plaza Rosemont. I got receipts of gang members going to the Crown Plaza Rosemont. It looked like they in a Crown Plaza Rosemont 100%. So they've been making money out of there. Whether it's pimping female, whether it's through prostitution, whether it's through drugs, whether it's through human trafficking, whether it's through organ harvesting, I don't know, but they have a connection with these hotel employees. A lot of these people are they fronting, and also something else that I found out. I don't know if I shared this with you too, John. Um, you have some guys from the Jenkins City crew, Vice Lord, who are also construction workers. And from what Queen of Jacks, doing our digging, doing our session during that time, she found a few of them that even work for the city. So a lot of them have legitimate jobs, but the majority of their money is coming from drugs, from selling sex, from all these illegal activities. The jobs is just the front. And the suppliers are turning around and purchasing legal businesses from illegal money. So when I tell y'all this thing is deep, it's deep. And KJ was a pond, yes, she was a small fish, a guppy in a big ocean full of sharks. But whatever bad decision that was made, it was enough to not only threaten her life, but two of her closest friends' life as well. So that's really all I got for y'all today. And like I said, let me see if I know I took some notes. Let me see if there's anything else that I'm kind of missing.
That is a very, very powerful tie-in, Malika. And the way I sit with the information that you shared with us this evening, this being most likely the very first platform that information like this has been spoken of regarding the tie-ins in this case is absolutely extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary.
I
And
got something else for y'all real quick. It's not much, but I got something else for y'all. Because I asked myself, why did Irene use Monifa's phone to go live? It's under our impression that Irene and Monifa wasn't really friends. They only was friends through KJ, correct? So I asked myself, why did Irene choose to use Monifa's phone to go live? Excuse me. Irene could have used Sakara's phone, right? She could have used Bree Bree's phone. She could have used Shemaya's phone. But who asks a person who they don't really like, they not really friends, over asking her own sister to use her phone, right? Well, this is something that hits me too. Irene used Monifa's phone to go live and tag herself because using Monifa's Facebook account, it gives a whole other audience, the GDs. So now, not only is the Vice Lords watching this live, but it also opened up another audience of GDs that's cool with Monifa. So now you have in her live, who's viewing her live or have access to view her live, GDs and Vice Lords. GDs who she probably wasn't even affiliated with, but they friends with Monifa on Facebook. See, this is the reason why she didn't use Sakara phone to go live, because these are Vice Lords. Shemaya phone to go live, Bree Bree phone to go live. These are all Vice Lords. They probably got all the same friends, but using Monifa phone opens up an audience of GDs who's connected to Monifa. Hello, somebody.
type of one, if you heard that, type of one, if you heard what Malika just said, type of one. Tying this information together, it takes an incredible, incredible perception and incredible time. And this is why I asked Malika to join us tonight to really begin fine tuning and tying the information that we've been covering the last 2.5 years to make sense. And absolutely, positively, this information at this point in the case is making sense. As we started out, we're here to help make sense out of this case. And finally, tonight, I believe we've been tying all of the loose ends together, connecting all the dots, tracing all the lines, and getting people connected to each other, finally, for the first time in this case, which can bring a major turnaround when it comes to taking this information to the authorities. And this is the reason I asked early before that all content creators please put together your playlist of all of your content and get it on your channel, because it's information like what Malika is sharing with us tonight is will make all the difference in the world in the big turnaround in this case. So yes, thank you for all the ones. I'm glad everyone's paying attention, careful attention, because as I said before, this information is not really discussed on YouTube covering this case. And I'm glad we're blessed with Malika to finally bring it to you.
I got one more.
Go ahead,
One
Malika.
more shoe to drop for y'all. That's gonna pretty much solidify everything that I just spoke. And then I'm done here. And I'm gonna share with them, John, what I shared with you in private. And this is just something that I found snooping, doing my snooping as I do. Y'all know I'm the biggest snooper. And so let me share this with you guys too, real quick before I end this. Okay, so also like I said to you guys, so once again, my theory is that you know there is money involved in this. Okay, and it was not only a vice lord setup, but it was a GD. It was 50-50 GDs as well. The vice lords handed her over to the GDs because evidently there was a debt or something that needed to be paid prior to her hanging with her new set of friends, quote unquote, right? Okay, so like I said, the GDs are just as responsible. If you guys can remember, I just recently did not a live, was it a live? No, a video on Zach and pretty much trying to get a clear understanding of Zach and his relationship with MTV because we had a one sided video documentary. They never really looked into the game. Okay, so I kind of felt like it was Zach. Their conversation with Zach or their relationship with Zach to where they spoke with who they needed to speak with. They already knew that they was going to have to follow the narrative anyway, so there wouldn't be any lawsuits. But one thing that I found very interesting is, a lot of us thought that Zach was the BD in the beginning. I know I did. I wasn't sure if he was in the gang, but I said if he is in the gang, Zach is the BD, right? No, sirree. John, pull up that screen share.
You got it, Malika.
Zach was a GD, guys. Zach was a GD. And I find this to be major and important because this is the reason why Zach was only pointing at the hotel. This is the reason why Zach would never speak about the friends having anything to do with it. Because Zach himself knew that the GDs were also involved in this. And Zach is a GD. Here's some receipts that we found. I'm just gonna share one with y'all. Um, Somebody said I thought Zach was a BD. This is the conversation they was having under his post. It's some wild. This was after he passed away. Okay. And then somebody said D Walker 1303 said you thought wrong. He was an undercover GD. This is the conversation that was had after his passing. So now it all makes sense as to why Zach pointed everything at the hotel and exonerated the friends from the very beginning because Zach was a GD. And remember, you have sets of GDs and sets of vice lords who are friends, such as Zach and Peasy. They get money together. Are y'all following me? So all along, Zach was not a BD. Zach was a GD all along. And so for me, that kind of solidified everything that I was looking into and feeling like, wow, this was a collaboration between Vice Lords and GDs. And now seeing that Zach all along was an undercover GD, I said, well, hell, this is the reason why he always pointed everything at the hotel, cleared the friends and the gang members in the very beginning. This is the reason why MTV never he had that control to where they never even looked at the games, even mentioned them. They just mentioned the friends sold her for $200. Says the conspiracy theorist, but they never really took this serious enough to even tread down the road of interviewing any GDs or vice lords. You get what I'm saying? Because that himself was a GD who was friends with vice lords, just as we see all along. So I know people suspected him to be there. I can't confirm or deny that. But what I am going to tell you today was his gang was there. We have some of his gang members as top suspects, his fellow gang members, and that we know for sure. So of course Zach knew more. Of course he knew more. He most definitely knew more. We all knew that he knew more. I believe that me myself personally, Joyful, I believe that Zach was killed because he released videos and information that he wasn't supposed to release. I believe it was more of a thing with, you know, I don't know. They say cloud chasing, like he wanted to get some cloud because he had these interviews and this is the way to skyrocket his stuff even more. Everybody got everybody's attention with same time it was some dangerous people behind the scenes saying, "Don't
Yeah,
release
Malika, you're breaking up a little bit. You're breaking up a little
step
bit.
away
Take
from
a pause.
the
Take a
case.
pause for a moment.
Stop
Malika, if you can hit it, Malika, if you can hear me, take a pause for a minute.
speaking
You're breaking up.
on it. Stop seeking attention. Let it go. Act like you don't know stuff. You do y'all get what I'm saying? So me myself personally, I don't have no receipts to back it up, but this is my spirit that he was hot-headed because he liked the attention that he got because you can say I video dropped first. He was requesting for even go. That recorded announcement where people start calling him a liar.
Yeah, because sometimes after we screen share,
Hello,
it
hello,
looks like
hello.
yeah,
Still
you're
breaking
back.
up.
No, 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 you're good. You're good. Sometimes after a screen share, I notice that it takes about maybe about 10 to 20 seconds until I guess the stream goes back to regular audio. So, but you were breaking up right after you removed the screen share.
Okay, so I'm good.
Yeah, you're good now.
Okay, okay. All right.
Powerful information, Malika. My goodness. God bless you. Mm.
Oh, Chi-Town Fit Queen said I'm breaking up again.
No, now you're good. Now you're good. Because it's a 10-second delay until they actually hear the audio. So you're good now.
They still said I'm breaking. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
you're
good.
good. You're good.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, okay. I still don't I? And then when I take that 10-second freeze, I forget where I left off. But yeah, so for me, I just feel that when it comes to Zach, he definitely. I mean, come on now. He was undercover GD. He hung with the GDs and he had friends who was vice lords. Like I said, they all under one window. They all get money together. And so I feel like with him, he was just being more hot headed, maybe putting the laughs out and stuff like that when he wasn't supposed to, because you had some very powerful people behind the scenes telling him, step away from it. And not meaning like, I don't think that they was telling him to not look into it because he probably knew everything, but just stop sharing stuff, stop speaking to the public. But I think Zach backed himself into a corner because he was already making so many announcements about the lives that he had to where people start calling him a liar. I thought you said you was going to drop it. You're lying. You don't have nothing. Oh, he just chasing clout. He ain't got nothing. So he backed himself into a corner because he was losing people's trust. So he said, okay, I ain't got nothing. Boom, here go one. And I got some more, but I can't release them. You see what I'm saying? So the one, boom, here go another one. I got another one with the family, but I can't release them. So he was really feeding the people, because he backed himself into a corner, making announcements and making a post and letting everybody know he had them. But he definitely was more on their side. He was, his interview was supposed to make them look innocent. He was the cleanup man. Okay, so you had Zach being a cleanup man and trying to make them look innocent and place all the heat on the hotel. And then we have Monifa, who was the handoff girl, possibly Shamaya Witter, who handed Kanika off. And what was that name you used, John, for Ty? I told you Ty Rowland was like the middle guy. He was there, to pretty much
Yeah, brokered the deal.
he was the broker. He brokered the deal. If you guys get what I'm saying, Ty was the person to broker the deal. I like the way John said it. He was the broker. Okay, because Ty, he's in the middle of both. He's a renegade. So, he's cool with some GDs, he's cool with some vice lords, but I believe at the same time, him, his dad, they finance a lot of the vice lords. Even though they not GDs, they finance them, not finance them, but give them drugs and the stuff they need to, you know. So Ty was the person to broker the deal to make sure everything went down and really nothing jumped off, just to make sure that either she made her money or somebody paid for it. But yeah, I like the way you put it, John. He brokered the deal. He was the broker.
Right, right, exactly. And just like Carl Nesbitt was the broker of the deal between the Crown Plaza and the gangs.
Thank you. And Carl Nesbitt was the person to come behind everybody, come behind everything, because like I said, I always believed that the guy with the raspy voice, I believe he had a lot of information in the beginning, and I also followed him after that phone conversation that he had with that girl. I stalked his page for a while, and trust me, they was hitting him hard. They was coming at him hard. Okay, for that conversation being leaked, calling him a snitch, all type of stuff. But his conversation with her was actually leaked, and he was mad about it. But I always, I always felt like it was a lot of truth to his story, and especially when he says that they was caught in the act. Okay, they might have, and if they were caught in the act with doing something, it wouldn't have been hard to get, to kind of cop a plea with the hotel because the hotel already messed with them like that. They already have a business relationship with that hotel, if y'all get what I'm saying. So yeah, here comes Nesbitt, Carl, the next day, and he brokered the deal with the hotel and the gang, just as John just said. And yeah, you definitely have the fact that they are Masons, and you notice the way Carl walked in and he did that Masonic handshake with the front desk clerk, right? So he have a relationship with that hotel. And like I said, I believe they selling drugs out the hotel, all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? They have business relationships out that hotel. Like I said, I think this thing is just deeper, you know, than just the hotel seeing an opportunity to snatch up a girl who was vulnerable, then a security just seeing an opportunity to snatch up somebody. No, the way I see everything, it was my mission to connect everybody because I always felt like everybody played a part some way, somehow. And I'm not talking, of course, there was a lot of people at that party that didn't know what was going down. So, you know, I'm not saying everybody, but I'm talking about as far as the main culprits, the main suspects that we've been looking at. These people knew what was going on. They might have knew what was going on, or maybe some didn't. It could have been some that didn't and found out later on. But at the same time, when it comes to some of these gang sets, top dogs, hotel employees, oh, they knew what was up. They knew what was up, and Carl came behind them and brokered the deal. Hence, the cover up came into effect. Everything was covered up. A narrative was created. Boom, bam, pow.
And hence we got the news of everything on September the 10th when they had found Kanika in a hotel kitchen freezer at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Rosemont, Illinois. And so, wow, that's extraordinary. And I am just so blessed and so grateful to you, Malika, for coming out and sharing some very powerful, explosive information tonight that really ties a lot of the loose ends together. And we appreciate you and your time to actually to give us and shine some light on this case like no other. And so I know that we're a little. Let me see. Yeah, we're a little over 2 hours. We're about running 2.5, but this was well worth it. This live tonight with Malika the Warrior was definitely well worth it. And for all of you who are in this chat room, which is well over 283 people, thank you. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for giving us your time uh, to get this out to you, because that is the precipice that we're on. We're on the edge of a turnaround. And so, to bring you the very best and to give you the updates regarding this case is what we're all about and what we stand for. And what we stand for. So, and much love goes out to every single one of you who's joined us tonight for this special live with Malika the Warrior, who's come out to share some very critical and vital information. And I see the chat jumping like crazy. Uh, type of one in the chat for Malika.
Y'all
And
welcome. Thank y'all. And glory to God. Thank you all. Thank you so much, John, for having me. And thank you all for allowing me to just speak my piece and just giving me that time and opportunity to lay everything out for you guys. It's so much more that I've been collecting just behind the scenes. But I just wanted to give y'all a piece of what I had, and looking into this other set who was with them and who conspired with them. And as I said, I always try to leave no stone unturned. So yes, we have went down many lanes and many avenues, looking into many different motives and things like that. But I really feel like I feel so strong about what we have right now. And I really do feel like it does. It makes a lot of sense, even tying back into it. It just makes a lot of sense to me. And it just took us to go through the journey that we went through to end up here, because remember, y'all, we on the outside looking in. So it took some time, for us to actually get where we are today. But praise God, we here. We here.
amen. Amen.
I love you guys. Hey, Miss Real Miss Knight. That's my girl right there. She had my back.
Absolutely. And one time, just one time, and this is for Kanika, This is for Kanika for tonight's live. Put some purple hearts in the chat for Kanika. We're getting there. We're getting very, very close to it. We want to send out our love to Kanika tonight. And thank you, Malika, for joining us tonight and sharing and caring and expressing your findings within your investigation. It it really humbles me and ooh, I just got a chill knowing that we've moved a cornerstone tonight. Yes, thank you. Purple Hearts. This is for Kanika. This is for Kanika. Thank you so much, chat, for your love. It's been it's been quite a journey, but we will continue. So hands down, much love to everyone who has joined us here tonight, and thank you once again, Malika, for blessing our platform to be the very first content creator on the platform and sharing with us your love and admiration, as well as your expertise in the area of getting justice for Kanika.
Thank you, John, for having me once again. I really appreciate you all. I love you all. Let's keep the fight, you guys. Kanika did not walk into that freezer. Justice for Kanika.
Amen to that. And with that said, we're going to close tonight's live. I want to thank all of you for coming. And now I get to say what predominantly most people say at the beginning of a video or a live. They go, please like, share, and subscribe. But I can say that here. So if you can, if you feel that tonight's content was well worth your time, please show your appreciation for Malika for coming out tonight by definitely giving her a thumbs up on this video live. We're going to keep the video up. We followed the rules and regulations of YouTube, and so moving forward, that's what we're looking to continue to do in our work and our quest toward getting justice for Kanika. So, with that said, as I've always said, be well and stay blessed, all of you, with Godspeed. Thank you and good night.